Okay, was that a game where you felt at the end you should have got something out of?
Yes, 100%. I'm happy with the performance, disappointed with the results and the fact that we didn't score. And there's a big workload on James Vaughan in that department. And you know, I thought we played some nice stuff. I thought we looked quite solid defensively. We obviously, you know, are getting the respect of the opponents with the way that they set up. So we have to be patient with the opposition's tactics. And it's concentration levels. And just that one moment that we've switched off, really. I mean, that's the disappointment. There's going to be games where we're not going to score goals. Play some nice stuff, but I'm disappointed with that one moment, that lapse in concentration that's cost us the 3 points. But it's part of the learnings, it's part of our development to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
As you say, you've got to the final third on quite a number of occasions. The final ball today, perhaps not the quality you would have wanted?
Yeah, a little bit of that. There's a frustration there because we know that the opposition was, you know, the tactics were to defend deep, and the two central defenders inside the line of both posts. So we had to do things a little bit quicker. We got to the final third well, but again, I just thought we were a bit slow in the final ball. From a possession point of view, pleased with the way that we can control the game and control the opponents, set to defend, set to attack, but we need to be better in attack. It's disappointing that we haven't scored today to marry up with the way that we've controlled the game, but there's the old adage that you don't have to have the ball to control it. So, you know, there'll be arguments from the opposition that they didn't have the ball but they controlled the game. I think there were moments, especially in the first half, where they were concerned, and that's why they changed shape again. And then late on in the second half, you know, there was a lot of time wasting, but listen, this is the dark arts of football, and I don't disagree with it. It's the right thing for the opposition to do, to slow the game down. We got some momentum going again in the second half after we'd conceded, but it was just a very frustrating game. It cut a very frustrating afternoon because as much as I like looking at statistics and data, you know, there's no comfort blanket in it tonight with respect to dominating possession and still having a majority of the shot count in our favour. We've lost the game.
You mentioned about the load on James Vaughan there, I suppose, not just in terms of scoring goals, but do you want players to get a bit closer to him and support him a little bit more? Is that part of it or not?
Yes, of course it is. And I think we have to show all the players pictures. We have to create pictures in those players' minds, especially when we've got the amount of bodies in the centre of the pitch, that we should be getting better support to James Vaughan. From wide areas of the pitch, again, if we're getting the ball into the box, it shouldn't just be on James Vaughan's shoulders, and that's where we have to probably work a little bit harder to make those distances up from keeping possession to getting into the final third, to going to penetrate with that possession and making sure that our ball retainers become goal scorers and goal creators. And that's getting the perfect balance from this group of players. And it's difficult because we've been dependent on, you know, James Vaughan and sensational goals and set play goals. Now we want those, but we do want a proportion of the not so nice goals, the tap-ins, the rebounds. So we have to get players in and around James Vaughan, but it's something that we probably have to work on a little bit more, from turning ourselves into an attractive footballing side who move the ball through the thirds to a ruthless, you know, cutthroat, if you like, team that scores plenty of goals and creates a lot more opportunities.
You look up and down the league at the moment, I mean, you know, a lot of sides have lost a fair number of games already, and that's why there's the concertina effect. Is that the quality, or is it just the way things are at the moment in this division?
I think, again, everybody's been affected by COVID. I really do. We're not an exception. We've had injuries, we've had illness this week. So it's been a difficult week on getting to where we are today, but you don't get the opportunities to work on what you really need to work on, you know, enough with the players that you want out on the pitch. It's difficult for every team, the inconsistencies. I believe that you can lose 16 games and still get promoted, but you have to limit your draws. You have to make sure that you're winning, and that's where we're at this moment in time. You know, we could have got a positive point out of that game today, but for one moment, and it was a concentration moment that let us down. But I have no fears of challenging with this club, with this group of players at the top of the league. But we have to make sure in these moments that we become better and more efficient than reliant on set plays and James Vaughan and glorious goals, because you're not going to score too many glorious worldies, you know, where it's all handed to you on a silver platter in League Two. You have to fight, you have to earn the right to score the ricochets, the tap-ins and the not so nice goals, and I think that will make us better.
Just the one change today, Kieran Morris on the bench and Danny Lloyd came in. Thoughts on that?
Well, Kieran hasn't trained all week, so he was a late addition, and that's the reason why.
And Manny Month is still out at the moment of the squad?
He's had a setback in training. He's trained for most of the week and then informed us on Thursday that he wasn't available. I think he's got severe tendonitis in his knee, and when it flares up, it's very, very painful.
Now it's Barrow on Tuesday, the next game. Are you looking forward to that one? And
of course, it's another challenge, and again, you've got to remain neutral with your emotions. I can be a very emotional person, but in this business, you can't rely on your emotions, make emotional decisions. You've got to make clear business decisions. Football's a business. You know, game by game, it's a business, and you know, emotionally today, I'm disappointed, but there is a lot to be, you know, happy about. There's a lot to be, you know, we did this well, you know, but it's just that small detail, and it always is, you know, and that's where we've got to become better.
Real shame with the fans back inside the ground again.
It happens.
It's awful, isn't it?
It happens. You know, it's a game lost. Put it down as that. You know, today was frustrating. You know, to get beat at Exeter, that was like, you know, that was easier to a certain degree. A lot easier emotionally, not a lot easier, but that was a lot easier than today, because where are we? Are we caught between a rock and a hard place? Do we look at a good team without a cutting edge? I believe we've got a cutting edge. I believe that we can, you know, streamline this football club to become more effective at scoring, you know, messy goals, not so nice goals, but playing nice football, getting to that point. Pressure goals, if you like, rather than fantastic goals. Everybody loves a fantastic goal, but I think it's your tap-ins that win your promotion.
The final one from me now, I get asked this a lot, I'm sure, over the next couple of weeks. You know, get to January and transfer windows and the rest of it. Have you already got some ideas in your own mind about what you might not want to do?
We want to be promotion contenders, and it's still very much up in the air. It's up for grabs. It's there for us to challenge with the amount of games that we've got left. So we want to make ourselves stronger. If that means recruiting players, then that's something that we'll do. But we can make the team stronger and the players stronger by, you know, coaching, showing, and you know, having conversations. And I think you're right. You hit the nail on the head. You know, it's important that we get players in and around James Vaughan when the ball's in the final third or going up to the final third. The football that we're playing, it looks very good on the eye, but when we get the respect that we're getting from the opponents, where we're playing against a deep block, we need to get players in and around James Vaughan.
Liam Feeney and Callum MacDonald linked up very well down the right hand side, and of course Feeney always puts lots of decent deliveries in across a match. When Callum got round the back there, of course he's on his weaker foot a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Does that sort of marginalise his effectiveness a little?
I don't think it should. I think if he was to then start attacking the near post when he's on a 1v1, you know, maybe then he buys a little bit more time for players to arrive on the edge of the box. I don't see any reason why he still can't cut onto his left foot, make the goal bigger, and maybe get a few shots off. You know, I think there was one in the first half. I think if we're talking about moments, we had good moments in that game. Good moments where Corey maybe should do better in the first half. And we had one in the second half where Varney goes through the centre of the pitch. Those moments make a hell of a difference to the results today and the psychology of both teams. But I believe that a lot of teams in the higher echelons do play inverted left and right backs so they can attack the centre of the pitch. You know what I mean? And with Liam Feeney being right-footed, coming around the opposite side. And I think that's something that Helen McDonald can definitely, you know, bring to his game.
James Vaughan, of course, as good as in his own box, from corners and whatnot, and at the other end of the field, he put a real shift in. But as you say, there is quite a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. Tranmere have played the same formation for quite a while now across this season, but with talking about trying to get more bodies around him, is a change of formation something you consider?
Well, if you look at the time that myself and Dorsey have spent at the club, that's 9 games, is it? 9 league games. And I think that's 6 wins, 3 defeats. If you proportion ratio the points per game and the wins in that time with the style and the system that we've played for a majority of it, then we are in a good position to get into the playoffs and challenge for automatic promotion. So we don't want to change too much too quickly. You know, I think the players are comfortable with, you know, the shape. Again, it's not about shape, it's about players being comfortable, you know, in and out of possession. And I believe, and we believe, that the team and the players that we have at this moment in time are comfortable with the shape. It's something that we can definitely improve on. There is options to change shape, but the players will have to be comfortable, because I don't want to be revisiting what happened at Exeter.